What is going on, college basketball fans? Today we have a huge transfer portal update in college basketball. A ton of really good players entered the portal yesterday and today. I'm going to let you guys know which teams are contacting these players and my prediction to where they will commit to and play next season. I'm ready to get started. Just want to say subscribe if you guys are new. A ton of college basketball content here on the channel. Hit that like button if you guys enjoy. Let's go. First player we'll be talking about here today is the former North Carolina guard, Caleb Love. Now, Caleb Love, he still has 2 years of eligibility remaining, and last season he did average 17 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per game. This was a huge surprise to me, especially because RJ Davis and Armando Bacot already announced that they will be returning to North Carolina to play next season. But Caleb Love, he was pretty inefficient as a shooter this past year, and there are a few schools that I see interested in him that I do believe could get the most out of Caleb Love, and he could have an amazing season next year. So the teams that are interested in him, and I did narrow down this list to teams that I feel like might be realistic to pick him up, those teams being Indiana, St. John's, Arizona, Missouri, Kansas State, Louisville, and Memphis. Now, there are some really interesting ones in here, like Indiana. I feel like him playing for Mike Woodson would be really fun. A historically good school like Indiana might be something that Caleb Love might be drawn to. Also, St. John's, they just hired Rick Pitino. Maybe he wants to go play for a Hall of Fame coach, a coach that has won multiple national championships. I could see that as well, but my final two for Caleb Love came down to Kansas State and Memphis. Kansas State would be, I feel like, a really good fit for Caleb Love. I feel like Jerome Tang could get the most out of a guy like Caleb Love, especially because you see guys like Marquise Noel pulling up from just past half court, I feel like Caleb Love would have the green light with Jerome Tang, would fit his system really well, and he would succeed in that system. But my prediction for Caleb Love is Memphis. I think if he goes to Memphis, that would be a lot of fun, especially with Mikey Williams coming in. That would be a really cool backcourt, Mikey Williams and Caleb Love. I also feel like Penny Hardaway could get the most out of Caleb Love, and I like the fit a lot. That's my prediction. Caleb Love, Memphis Tigers, make it happen. Next player I have for you guys here today is Sahvir Wheeler. Now, Wheeler is a really good player. He did get injured at Kentucky towards the end of this past season. He did average 11 points per game, 6 assists per game, and 3 rebounds per game for the games that he did play this past season for Kentucky, and he does still have 1 year of eligibility remaining. The teams that I see most interested in Sahvir Wheeler are Houston, Missouri, Illinois, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, and Rutgers. Now, there are a few that I feel like could be really good fits. I think that Missouri would be an awesome fit for Wheeler. I mean, he's a really good passer. They like to run a lot of guards there. With their first year under Dennis Gates, they had a pretty good season this year under their first year with Dennis Gates. I think that would be a awesome fit. I also really like the Houston fit. A guy like Jamal Shead has announced that he will be testing the NBA draft waters. So if Jamal Shead does decide to leave Houston, I feel like Wheeler could step right into that role as the starting point guard for the Houston Cougars, and I think that would be an awesome fit as well. Although I do feel like Jamal Shead will decide to come back and return to Houston this next season, and not end up going to the NBA. So my prediction for Sahvir Wheeler is to go to the Illinois Fighting Illini. Now, this would be an amazing pickup for Brad Underwood, and man, do they need it, because we'll be talking about a guy that they lost earlier today, and they need a point guard. They need a point guard really bad, and Wheeler would be a great fit there because he does average 6 assists per game. He is one of the best passers in college basketball, and that would be just an amazing pickup for this Illinois team. Next player I have for you guys here today is Khalil Ware. Now, Khalil Ware was a freshman for Oregon this past season, so he still has 3 years of eligibility remaining. He is a true 7-footer, and he could be a paint protector for a team and be a really good fit. Last season, he did average 6 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and a block per game. There are a lot of teams interested and already contacting Khalil Ware, so I'm going to run through these. Be prepared. So Duke, Gonzaga, Memphis, Auburn, Arkansas, Missouri, LSU, Texas A&M, Texas, Kansas State, Illinois, Florida State, Oklahoma State, Ole Miss, SMU, and TCU are all teams that have already contacted Ware since he has been in the transfer portal yesterday. So obviously a big name that a lot of teams really want to get. My prediction for Khalil Ware is going to be determined between these two teams, either Duke or Arkansas. Now, Arkansas is in the conversation a lot because Khalil Ware is from the state of Arkansas, so maybe he wants to return home. And I also think that Duke would be a really good fit, especially if a guy like Dereck Lively decides to enter the NBA draft. Ware can step right into that role as a paint protector and be the starting center, and that would be a perfect fit. So I think this decision for me comes down to if Dereck Lively does enter the NBA draft, then I will say that my prediction is for Khalil Ware to go to Duke. But if Dereck Lively does decide to return to Duke for his sophomore season, I'm going to say Khalil Ware does go to Arkansas. So that is my prediction. Khalil Ware, he was a top 10 recruit coming out of high school last year, 5-star. It would be a huge pickup for any team that gets him. Next player I have here is a transfer from the Virginia Cavaliers. It is Kaden Shedrick. Now, Kaden Shedrick, he only averaged 6 points and 3 rebounds a game last season, but he was a huge X factor for this Virginia Cavalier team. He's a really good defender. He's a 6'11 guy, really big, and he can play the 4 or the 5. He still has 2 years of eligibility remaining. And Kaden Shedrick, his list is super long as far as teams that are interested in him, so I'm going to go ahead and go through that now. Kansas, Georgetown, Butler, Rutgers, Oklahoma, Wake Forest, Indiana, Cincinnati, Xavier, Florida State, Texas, Iowa, Kansas State, Nebraska, Seton Hall, Wisconsin, Vanderbilt, Florida, Notre Dame, LSU, Gonzaga, BYU, Missouri, Northwestern, and SMU. So a huge list. A lot of guys want Kaden Shedrick, and he does have a lot of potential as a two-way forward. And I think my prediction is going to come down to these two teams, Kansas and Texas. I feel like Kaden Shedrick is a Kansas or Texas type of guy. He looks to me like he fits into those systems. And my final prediction, I'm going to go with Kansas. I mean, Jalen Wilson, he's going to be heading to the NBA draft. They're going to be losing Kevin McCullough. I think that they could use Kaden Shedrick at the power forward position or even play him at the center position. Now, Kansas has been losing a few guys to the transfer portal. They are going to pick somebody up, and I think Kaden Shedrick would be a super good fit for this Kansas team. Next player we're going to be talking about was a star in the March Madness tourney, and that is Orion Landberg, the guard from Princeton. He was the guy that was shooting lights out for this Princeton's Tigers team, and he did average 12 points per game, 3 assists per game, and a rebound per game, and he did average 18 points per game in the NCAA tournament in the 3 games that he did play there for the Princeton Tigers. And there are some teams that I'm seeing are interested in him already, those teams being San Diego State, Iowa State, Michigan State, St. John's, Villanova, and Tennessee. It is good to note that he is from the San Diego area, so I think it could be a good pickup for San Diego State. However, I don't know if he really fits the system there for the Aztecs, so that is not going to be my prediction. He is more of a straight up shooter, not really like a scrappy, lengthy defender like San Diego State likes to get. And every team needs more shooters. Every team needs more shooters. This will be a great pickup for whoever wants him. But I decided to go with my prediction as Michigan. I just feel like he is a Michigan type of guy. I could see him being a really good shooter for Juwan Howard. I could also see him being a potential bust once he gets to the Power 6 level of college basketball. Like, yes, he did average 18 points per game throughout the tourney, but he averaged 12 points per game through the Ivy League for the Princeton Tigers in the season. So I think that he could potentially be a little bit too overhyped in the transfer portal, but I am going to say my prediction is that he will commit to Michigan. We have another guard here to talk about, and this is a transfer from Illinois. It is the freshman Jaden Epps. So he still has 3 years of eligibility remaining. Last season in his freshman year for the Illini, he did average 9 points per game. And this is the reason that I was saying that Illinois does need Sahvir Wheeler really bad, and I think that they have a shot at getting him for sure. Now, Jaden Epps, he just entered the portal like an hour and a half before I started making this video, and already I'm seeing 2 teams that are very interested in going after him, and especially the fan bases that seem to really want him, those being Georgetown and Iowa. So it is possible that he could go to one of these teams, but like I said, he just entered the portal not too long ago. I haven't seen any word on any teams contacting him yet, but I think it would be a good pickup for either Georgetown or Iowa. Next up, we have another freshman guard. This player coming out of Washington University. That is Kian Minifield, and a very underrated freshman guard from this past season. He did average 10 points per game, 2 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per game, and he still has 3 years of eligibility remaining. The 2 teams that I am seeing really wanting to go after Kian Minifield are Memphis and Louisville, and my prediction is for him to go to Louisville, especially since I already kind of had Memphis as my prediction to get Caleb Love. I am going to say that Kian Minifield does go to Louisville. I think that him and Sky Clark, I'm not really sure how that would work out, but those are the 2 main teams that I am seeing. So you could always use more guards. Louisville needs all the help that they can get, so I don't think it would be a bad pickup. I just think it would be a little bit weird to pick up 2 sophomore guards in Sky Clark and Kian Minifield. Next player, we do have Brandon Murray, and again, just like Fardaws Aimaq from the previous transfer portal video, this feels like deja vu. He's in the portal again, and this time he's transferring out of Georgetown, and last season for Georgetown he did average 14 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals per game. He still does have 2 years of eligibility remaining, and the 2 teams that I remember were in his final 3 when he was transferring from LSU to Georgetown. The 2 teams that were with Georgetown in his final 3 were Tennessee and Illinois. So I think that those teams might have a shot at Brandon Murray, and I'm going to say that my prediction for Brandon Murray is to commit to Tennessee and play with the Vols next season. I think it would be a really good pick. He's a super athletic guy, and a type of guard that brings something different to the table for this Tennessee team. A 2-way player, like I said, he averaged 2 steals per game. I think it would be a really good fit there for Rick Barnes. And the last player I'm going to be talking about here today is a transfer from Arizona State. It is DJ Horne. Now, DJ Horne, underrated player this past season, averaged 12 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and 2 assists per game. He only has 1 year of eligibility remaining. This will be his 5th year in college, and the teams I see interested in him are Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Seton Hall, Pitt, North Carolina State, and Iowa State. It is good to note that I'm pretty sure his hometown is in Raleigh, so he could maybe want to return home and play for NC State. But I think the best fit here out of these teams, I could see Oklahoma. I kind of like that fit for DJ Horne as well. But I'm going to say my prediction for DJ Horne to play next season is to go to Pitt. I think that going to Pitt would be a really good fit for DJ Horne. Pitt is a program, last season they showed that they can take on these 5th-year seniors and these older players, especially at the guard position, and get the most out of them. And I feel like that this Pitt team, this Pitt coaching staff can get the most out of Brandon Murray, and they really like their 5th-year seniors there. So I think it would be a great fit for DJ Horne to play for the Pitt Panthers next season. But that is going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about these transfers and where you think that they are going to commit to play next season. The transfer portal is only going to get more and more players in it. We're going to be having the news here on this channel, so make sure you guys subscribe if you guys have not already. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.